So our core message is when we see something good, at least that seems good to us, spread, the people who scale badly, and this is classic in startups, they get so focused on running up the numbers that they don't realize that in the process what they really need to do is to slow down and spread behaviors and beliefs. We call this a mindset that sort of are in everybody's brain that propel scaling. And we would argue that a hallmark of effective scaling is essentially, as Huggy puts it, people know when to hit the brakes so they can accelerate faster later. And Huggy's got this new line that the great thing about brakes is it means you can drive even faster. And it's kind of the same with scaling. I was just with Huggy at Google yesterday doing a talk. And Google's a really great place. You can go back to even 2002. I remember interviewing Larry Page. And he talked about how pissed everybody was at him, the venture capitalists, his fellow employees, and also Stanford students, because he wasn't hiring them fast enough. But it turns out that focusing on hiring the right people was very important to Google's growth. Another example, Facebook with, we've had intermittent contact with folks at Facebook since the earliest days of the D School, when a woman named Katie Giermander, who was then head of products, used to come and hire our students from the D School. In fact, the other day, I sent an email because she saw that our book came out, and she gave me a list of 4 or 5 people she sort of just hired right out of our class. I sort of forgot about that. But we've been following them for a long time. And the guy we talked to in particular is a guy named Chris Cox, another famous Stanford dropout. He actually finished his undergraduate degree and dropped out of symbolic systems. Chris Cox has now had a product. And in talking to Chris and other folks like Mike Schrofer, who's the CTO, they described to us, and we also talked to a lot of the other engineers, that at Facebook, when they hire a new engineer, because getting the mindset in people is so important, when you're hired, before they assign you to a job, what they have you do is they have you do 12 or 13 small projects. And we've all heard, probably most of us, about the move fast and break things mindset. The idea here is you actually live it. And when we had Mike Schrofer, Shrep, and Chris Cox as guests in our class, I said to Chris Cox, what's a good first week at Facebook? And he said, you've made a change in the code that you can show to your mother or father, like a new pull-down menu, maybe higher resolution on a picture. And that's sort of this notion that we see over and over again, that when firms scale effectively, they think about the mindset, not just the footprint, as Huggy would put it.